If you're like me, sometimes I don't see myself in the best light. Sometimes I unfortunately focus on the negative, my weaknesses. I'm being critical of myself and those kind of things. You get them in your mind and it keeps you from moving forward and doing the things that you know you need to do. So I would like to talk just for a little bit today on not focusing on how we see ourselves, but thinking about how God sees us. Thanks for joining me for that morning cup of inspiration. It's so important that we look at how God sees us. Now, the reality is, how does God see us? I found a story that I ran across in Judges. It's the great story of Gideon. And if you'll remember that story, God called him to save the Israelites. Gideon had all the excuses in the world. God was very patient with him. He brought him along. He proved through miracles that he was going to be with him. And sure enough, Gideon, through the process, began to get his strength stronger and stronger and his courage greater and greater, to where he went from 25,000 men down to 300 men and won the battle over the Gideonites. But I want to step back to the first time God talked to Gideon. And here's what he planted in Gideon's head. First thing, this is Judges 6, the 12th verse. This is how the Lord addresses Gideon to begin making his request. He said, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." He knew and called Gideon a mighty warrior. Well, Gideon was not a mighty warrior in his mind. This is at a time he's threshing wheat and hiding. And he's telling God his clan's the weakest. And he's the least of his family. But then God goes on into the 14th verse and he says, "Go in the strength you have. Is it not me sending you?" That's how God saw Gideon and knew what needed to be done. So let me remind you how God sees you. God sees you as a mighty warrior. You are a mighty warrior in God's eyes. Don't look at your weaknesses today. Don't look at your shortcomings. Look at yourself as a mighty warrior and go in the strength you have. God is sending you out into this day. He has a purpose for you for this day, and he wants you to go with the strength you have as a mighty warrior, courageous and fearless for his kingdom. Can you do that today? I'm going to give it my best shot. God bless. Thanks for joining me for that morning cup of inspiration, and we'll see you next time.